Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live this morning. Nice to have you on. We love when you can come on and say hello to us when you're on live with us in the morning. Always a lot of fun. Love our roll call. Love the folks that can join us. Of course, we understand that not everybody can, but when you can, here's the mayor. Kevin, how are you, my friend? Number one on the hit parade, on my hit parade at least. Andrea, right at the top from Niagara Falls, good morning to you. Okay, let's see. The scroll is moving very slow so far. There's Janice from Brampton. How are you? There you are, Brahim. I didn't see your name yesterday. I missed you. Rosalinda, Niagara Falls. Bonnie, how are you from Little Britain? Hi, Sue. Nice to have you on. Nativity's on with us. Rosa from Montreal. Let's see. Sandy, Chilliwack, British Columbia. And yeah, Brahim saying, yeah, in the state. Lucille, Danny Lee, Bruno, Lisa, and Marla. Beautiful Oregon. I can't argue with that. Lorraine, British Columbia. Lynn is on from Aurora this morning. So's Nellie. So's Lise. Not from Aurora, sorry. But you guys are on with us. Darlene, Rosa, Lise, she always puts that emoji. I have trouble seeing your name, Lise, but I did see. Patricia's on from Sudbury this morning. Marilyn, Charlottetown. Judy, Patricia from Pulaski, Tennessee. Ashley, Anna, Cheryl, West Virginia. Nativity, saying it's muggy. Yeah, it's rainy and muggy here this morning. Lori in Chilliwack. Janice, how are you? Carol in Wasaga. Sandra couldn't find my podcast yesterday. I don't know why. Cindy, Wendy, how are you? Lori, today is Lori's 25th wedding anniversary. Well, happy anniversary. Hi, Roxanne. Hi, Linda. Hi, Kristen from Saskatchewan. Dennis, happy anniversary. Guys, if you got a birthday or whatever, don't be shy. Nicole, how are you, Nick? Sherry, Nellie, Carol, West Virginia. IT. Wendy from Markham. Francis, we love you guys. Kristen saying hello to Cindy. Sandra from Chelmsford. Thanks for coming on, Sandra. Anna, Georgie, there you are, Georgie from Halifax, Nova Scotia. Frida, Karen, and Etta. Okay, so guys, thanks for coming on. We love you. Hi, Ornella, how are you? Okay, let me, we got a couple of more studies that I want to look at. Okay, and we're all saying happy anniversary. See, you put it up there. Hi, Maureen and Norma. We love you guys. Okay, now, listen to this, okay? Fruit intake at night, okay? Seems to be, you know me, I love fruit, okay? So anybody that says, well, Dr. Martin don't like fruits and vegetables, not for 30 days, okay? When you do the reset, I got a big reason to cut out your fruits and vegetables for 30 days, okay? Because I am working 100% to get you out of metabolic syndrome, to empty your liver, No more insulin resistance. It fixes it. Okay? So there's a reason for my madness. Because people then accuse me, well, you're a carnivore or whatever. No. I like fruit. Okay? I just don't want you to live on it. I don't want you to live on it. But listen to this study, okay? Fruit intake at night elevates liver enzymes. Now remember, guys, okay, we've talked about this a lot. Fructose compared to glucose. They're two different puppies, okay? They're two different puppies. Fructose heads to the liver quickly, okay? Now, it's one of the reasons that we talk about on this program all the time. Don't drink fruit. Now, you can have Dr. Martin's Perfect Smoothie with a few berries in it, okay? You can do that because that's good for you. But don't drink orange juice or apple juice or whatever. Don't drink that stuff, okay? But they're saying even eating fruit at night, okay? Not during the day, at night, elevates liver enzymes. Now, here's where we have a problem in our society, okay? Here's where we have a problem in our society. Fatty liver. The most recent national disaster, and when I say national, I mean Canadian and America. They're disasters. And that is fatty liver. 1 out of 3 North America, excuse me, where did that come from? That frog in the throat. 1 out of 3 North Americans have fatty liver. And you know what the problem is with fatty liver besides that? You don't even know. Doctors today still have trouble testing for fatty liver. And the reason is, unless their liver enzymes are elevated, they don't look for it. They don't take it as seriously as they should, because fatty liver is a catastrophe waiting to happen. Not only does it advance from fatty liver to cirrhosis of the liver, but fatty liver has a major effect on heart disease. What is one of the things that we say on this program all the time? What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. What happens in your liver doesn't stay there. Okay? Your liver, you can't get physicians. They think of, for example, they think of heart disease still today is cholesterol. Okay? I'm going to talk about this in a minute because there was an article that I read and I want to bring it up today. If we get time, we'll hit it. Now back to the liver. When your liver is full of fat, your body's reaction to that is to send your triglycerides, fat balls, skyrocketing. So when you get your lipid profile done, when you get your blood work done, you know what I do, you know what I counsel, is have a look at your triglycerides and have a look at your cholesterol, your HDL. Have a look at that. That's the most significant, that ratio is the most significant ratio for heart disease. Is the ratio between your triglycerides and your HDL. And it's a teeter-totter. If you have high triglycerides, generally, almost without exception, you will have low HDL cholesterol. Why is that significant for your heart? Because they're fat balls. Triglycerides are fat balls in your blood vessels. You're going to have triglycerides floating around in your blood vessels. As long as they're not high, who cares? But when you have high triglycerides, and that is due to your diet, okay? And it's not cholesterol. As a matter of fact, you want your HDL cholesterol to be high. This study is saying, okay, not only is there 1/3 of North Americans have fatty liver. If they have fatty liver, they got high triglycerides and low HDL, almost invariably. That makes it very hard on the heart because those fat balls, triglycerides, are clogging up your arteries. And then you got sugar destroying your blood vessels. Ask a diabetic. Okay? So, fatty liver does not stay in the liver. It's the Costco parking lot. And what this study is saying, don't eat fruit at night. You're going to eat fruit? Eat it during the day. Because that fructose is going to go to your liver. For example, a bear. Okay? A bear. I don't know about you guys, but we got bears here in Northern Ontario. Okay? We got bears. And it won't be long, in a couple of weeks from now, the blueberries are out. What do bears love? They love blueberries. You know why? They fatten up on blueberries. They eat up to 30,000 blueberries a day, getting ready for winter hibernation. They really fatten up. And guess where their fat goes? Liver. And then their body makes a lot more fat, packs it, so they can sleep for several months during the winter. Well, you're not a bearer. You're not meant to eat. Do you think I don't love blueberries? I love blueberries. They are so good for you. Wild blueberries are one of the best fruits that you could ever eat. But you don't eat 30,000 of them. Okay? And the study said don't eat them at night because they elevate your liver enzymes at night. Okay. So if you want to put a few blueberries in Dr. Martin's Perfect Smoothie, okay, then go for it. And somebody asked me the other day, okay, how do you get rid of fatty liver? Well, lay off high fructose corn syrup, because that's the sugar that they use in soda, in crackers, in pretzels, they use all that, any sugar that's added, including peanut butter, when they add it, is usually a high fructose corn syrup. It's cheap, it's addictive, it goes right to your liver. Why do you think, guys, just why do you think? Think about this for a minute. Look at our world today. Look at the amount of obesity today. Look at the amount of heart disease that we have today. Worse than ever. Because they lied to us. And the food industry invented a sugar. They invented it from corn syrup that goes to your liver and elevates your triglycerides and lowers your HDL and is very hard on your heart. Never mind what it does to your brain and Alzheimer's. So you want to fix fatty liver, do the reset for 30 days. Is it going to be easy? No. Every day I read comments on people that are doing the reset. Every day. Yeah, they're right. I didn't think it would be that hard. Well, it's hard if you're a carboholic. My name is Tony, and I'm a carboholic. Okay? And 93% of the population could put their hand up and say that. You know, I always laugh at vegetarians and vegans. I do. I don't mean to laugh at them, but they're not laughing with me. They usually don't have a sense of humor because they're mad all the time. They're mad at people that eat meat. Anyway, I said, you're a carboholic. You're not living on plants. It's all the grains that you're eating too. And all the bread and the noodles and the pasta. And you're a carboholic. Yeah, but I don't eat meat. Well, good for you. As if that's helping you. I don't eat anything with eyeballs. Well, so what? That don't make you a genius. Anywho, how do you fix fatty liver? How do you fix it? 1, do the reset. It's meant for that. It's meant to lower your triglycerides and your HDL and elevate your HDL. Do the reset. It works. It's amazing. Walk after meals. It helps. Get your legs strong. Get stronger. Where did that come from? A little bit of burp there. Don't drink fruit juices. Lay off the fruit juices. If you're going to have some fruit, have it during the day and don't live on it. Drink coffee. Yeah. You teetotalers out there. Drink coffee. Coffee's good for your liver. It helps to empty your liver. How do you like that? It lowers fibrosis in the liver. Coffee. Don't put sugar in it. And there's a link between your liver and your gut. That's why I like probiotics. There you go. Okay. 1 out of 3 adults have fatty liver. Fruit intake at night elevates liver enzymes. It's a good time to have your fruit. Have it during the day. Okay? Shireen. She's in Guyana, South America. Well, thanks for coming on. Okay. Hi, here's another one. In case you didn't get the memo about sugar, high sugar intake predicts dementia risk in older adults. I always say this. If I could get into senior homes, you guys know this if you've been following me for any length of time, okay? If I could get into every senior home you know two vitamins I bring with me. Vitamin D and B12. Okay? Because they're always low. They're always low. They're low in vitamin D and they're low in B12, and no one cares about that. They should, but they don't. The only thing they care about is you could be toxic in vitamin D, says mainstream medicine that don't know what they're talking about. Because they never seen a case of it. The science is settled on vitamin D. No, it's never settled. But you know what they're saying? This is a study I looked at in my radio days. Because they did a study to see if you could develop kidney stones with vitamin D, just taking the supplement of vitamin D. Without K2, by the way. 50,000. Okay, here's the study they did. They gave people 50,000 IUs a day. Every day for 6 months. You know what? They didn't even get kidney stones. So when I hear vitamin D is toxic, no. It's nonsense, but they scare the living life out of people. And people are scared skinny. They're scared skinny of the sun, and they're scared skinny of vitamin D in a supplement. Oh, well, you better not take more than 1,000 IUs. You might get toxic. You'll end up in the emergency room. Never happened. It's so silly. Anyway, I'm not telling you to take 50,000 IUs a day either. Okay? And don't take vitamin D as a supplement without K2. Okay. High sugar intake. I don't know how did I get on vitamin D and high sugar intake. High sugar intake predicts dementia risk in older adults. Oh yeah, I went to the senior homes with vitamin D and B12. But the amount of sugar they eat. Remember, guys, Alzheimer's, okay? What do we know? They won a Nobel Prize in 2005. What did they say? Alzheimer's is type 3 diabetes. Alzheimer's is type 3 diabetes. Okay. Higher sugar intake predicts dementia risk in older adults. Okay? Let me see. Oh, okay, let me do this one. Let me do this one here. High blood pressure. Might as well stick to heart disease, although we just talked about Alzheimer's. But they're connected. Here's what this most recent study on high blood pressure. How many millions and millions and millions of people are on high blood pressure medication? And guys, this is just a fact, so don't come after me, okay? Because I don't want you to have high blood pressure either, okay? But I'm just saying they moved the goalpost. You got to remember, I've been around a long time. I've been around a long time. I've been around the sun a lot of years, okay? So I've watched this happen. I've watched the goalposts get changed. I watched it for cholesterol so they could sell more medication. I've really watched it for blood pressure, okay? It's the 120/80, right? The 120/80 diastolic and systolic. And at one time, when I was in school in the 70s, like 120/80 was always ideal. Every time I think of blood pressure, I got to think of a guy in our class, okay, in school. And we had to go up to the front and take someone's blood pressure, okay, and then go up on the board and mark it. And there was this guy in our class. He was one of the funniest guys. But he forgot to put the stethoscope in his ears. He had it around his neck. And we're all just, like, he didn't even realize that we're dying. Because he takes the cuff and he's pumping it up. And then he put the, the monitor on the, in the cuff. Just below the cuff there. And then he goes right on the board. 120/80. Of course, he forgot to put the stethoscope in his ears. We were on the ground, and he didn't understand why we were laughing at him. Anyway, back to my school days, okay? They would never put you on medications if you were at 140, okay, over 90, for example. You would don't know meds. They considered that still within normal range. Then they went to 130. Then they went to 120. Who moved the goalpost? The pharmaceutical industry. They want everybody and their dog on blood pressure medication. And man, look, like I said, I don't want you to be on I don't want you to have high blood pressure. But what did they blame for that mostly? Salt. Here's a med, plus we gotta lower your salt intake. Right? Another study, and there's hundreds of these, but this is brand new, hot off the press. The most treatable, this is from a new meta-analysis. Meta-analysis are the best studies because they look at all the studies. Here's their conclusion. Most treatable downstream effects of high blood pressure is insulin resistance, according to the study. The best thing you can do for high blood pressure is get your insulin down. How do you get your insulin down? You lower your carbohydrates, especially sugar. Yeah? Here we go again. Do you know how tens of thousands of people who did the reset found their blood pressure to come back to normal? Tens of thousands. Remember, again, guys, I've been around a long time. And before I've ever published the book on metabolic syndrome, I did the reset in my office for tens of thousands of patients. If you walked, you were put on the reset if you came to see me. Just about. 99% of the patients that came to see me left the office with a plan to lower their insulin. To lower their insulin. Because I said, it's going to help, and I draw them a line. I said, it's going to help with heart disease. Number one killer. It's going to help you to prevent cancer. Number two. And then I put another line. I said, it's going to help with preventing Alzheimer's. Number three. And then I put another line. It's going to help you never to become a diabetic. And if you are a diabetic, it's going to help you right away. 4. And then I put another line. I said it's going to help if you have autoimmune disease. So I said, if you're in any of those categories, never mind obesity, never mind fatty liver, never mind any of those things, this will help you. Look what the study is saying. They're finally catching up. The most treatable downstream effect of low carb, I didn't say no carb, low carb, is it lowers your insulin resistance and it lowers your blood pressure. How do you like that? It lowers your diastolic and systolic blood pressure. More than salt. Oh, you should have heard me screaming, guys, years ago on my radio show about low salt diets. I said, you're punishing yourself. Salt ain't causing high blood pressure. It's sugar. And when you eat a lot of sugar, your kidneys hold on to salt. It's not the salt, it's the sugar. And I feel sorry for all these seniors. They don't know any better. The doctor doesn't know one iota about nutrition. Ooh. Ooh. Anyway. Can you believe it? Yeah. Can you believe it? Okay. Let me see. Okay, I got a couple of more studies. But we'll leave it at that. Okay, guys. I'm sweating. No, we had fun, didn't we? You guys are wonderful, okay? You know what Friday is? Get your questions in, okay? Get your questions. Send them to info@martinclinic.com. And Friday, we'll handle it. The last 2 weeks, we've handled the questions on Friday. Didn't have to go to Monday. But guys, whatever. If you ask, okay? If you ask, I will answer your question. We love that. It's always popular on Fridays, okay? Okay. I promise not to get excited ever again. If you believe that, I got swampland for you in Florida. Okay. We love you dearly. Talk to you soon.